Tens of thousands of demonstrators fanned out across Southern California for the No Kings protest against Donald Trump. The LA Times described the demonstrations as peaceful, with loud music, chants, and even horns. The next day, according to the Times, it was a quiet and sunny morning in downtown Los Angeles. It's a stark contrast to the military presence the Trump administration has forced upon the city. And breaking just moments ago, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass just reduced the curfew hours for downtown LA. Effective tonight, the curfew will be in effect from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And joining us now with that news and more is Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles.
Mayor Bass, welcome. It's good to have you. You're overseeing this transition. You had a great weekend with the protests, as Simone noted, coming in. You've now reduced the hours of the curfew. Share with us some of the thinking behind that. How do you feel about where things are moving, particularly in light of the president still insisting that this is a war zone and L.A. is such a dangerous place to be?
Yes, and thank you so much. It's great to see you all. Let me just say that just a little bit of perspective. Los Angeles is 500 square miles. The protests that have, where it's been problematic and where we have a curfew, is about 4 square miles. So this pandemonium, citywide civil unrest never, ever existed. So yes, yesterday was a good day in terms of it was relatively peaceful. There were some problems at the end, but only 5 people got arrested. And there were probably 30,000 people that were there. And so this is without the National Guard, because the federalized National Guard, they're protecting one building. They're not involved in crowd control. The Marines, we keep hearing about them. I don't know where they are. They're not in the city of Los Angeles. They might be in one of our adjacent cities. But given that this protest had been planned for months, I have no doubt that the raids and the inhumanity, the cruelty that has happened here has resulted in the protests being far larger. If you just think about, it was Father's Day, the missing fathers. The fathers that their kids don't know where they are, their spouses don't know where they are, because when they detain people, they provide no information. They have no legal counsel, no right to talk to their families.
Mayor Bass, I was speaking with some of our reporters who are on the ground, and there is some reporting that in South Central today, ICE performed another operation. Can you give us a sense of the enforcement that is still ongoing?
Well, you know what? That's one of the key problems. We don't know from minute to minute. Everything is based on rumors. There is a very sophisticated rapid response network here in the city because we have a well-established, very experienced immigrant rights network here, institutions. So this was a raid that took place in the historic African-American community, South Central LA, although now that's majority Latino, at a park. Ironically, it's the park I kind of grew up in. And it's called South Park, and they detained several people. We don't know how many. I don't know if you've heard about people that were detained and they were here legally going in for their annual immigration appointment and then finding out that they would be detained. It is so cruel. I said yesterday, too, that I don't think the White House understands the body blow to our economy. We have multiple sectors of our economy that could not function without immigrant labor.
So, Mayor, then what kind of communication is happening between you and the White House or yourself and federal officials? I know you've had one conversation, to my knowledge, with Tom Homan briefly when the National Guard was first deployed, or the threat of them being deployed. Have you had another conversation since then?
No, my conversation then was to try to convince him that we did not need to have this happen. That's why I call it a laboratory experiment, because I think they're trying to test the American public of what does it mean to basically go to the governor in the nation's second largest city and just take his power away and say, now I'm in charge of the National Guard. And we have a fine relationship with our governor. If there had been a need for the National Guard, we would have called. We would have asked for assistance. The Los Angeles Police Department, the sheriffs, and the surrounding cities, we can handle this, and we have. I mean, we had 30,000 people protesting on Saturday, 5 arrests. Obviously, we can handle it.
You know, Mayor, it's interesting throughout all of this that the nation is watching from various corners across the country, from the Midwest, the South, the Northeast, watching what's happening to your fair city and the way the citizens of Los Angeles are responding. I find interesting the immigration policy and polling question done by NBC News Decision Desk poll that shows, that came out on Friday, showing roughly 51% of the American people somewhat to strongly approve of the president's handling of the issue of immigration. 49% disapprove or strongly disapprove of this handling. You have an opportunity, I think, to level up the conversation even more closely for the American people, given the closeness of how they're seeing this right now. What would you want them to know about the way you're handling this matter in your city, and what those immigrants are saying to you as the mayor as they're caught in this federal crosshair?
You know, I want people to understand the cruelty of this. You know, yesterday, for example, on Father's Day, I went to Mariachi Plaza, a iconic location in the Mexican-American part of Los Angeles. It was a ghost town. It was Father's Day. There were restaurants. I went to 4 restaurants. 3 of them had no customers in it. It looked like COVID. It looked like that time period when everything was shut down. And every time I talked to people, they were emotional. They are concerned as to whether their businesses will even survive. You remember when this whole thing started, it was violent criminals, it was gang members, and it was drug dealers. I don't think there's many great gang members, drug dealers who are nannies, you know, in a park with the kids, or day laborers who wake up every day trying to find a job for one day, that they are hardened criminals. So it's important to say that the original mission has changed. Now, listening to what Stephen Miller said, it's all about the numbers. We just need 3,000 people a day. We don't care who they are. We don't care where they are. And that is beyond cruel. If you don't get the humanitarian part of it, then get the financial part of it. The nation's second largest city, being crippled by uncertainty, by fear, by people being terrorized, terrified. It's just shameful.
Mayor Best, to your point about LA being an experiment, you had the president today saying that he wants to step up deportation efforts in many Democrat-run cities. He specifically referenced LA, Chicago, New York. So what you are going through now, other mayors are watching and they are going to learn from. For example, do you think that your police department should be offering neighborhood leaders heads up if they know that an ICE enforcement is forthcoming?
Well, I mean, but the problem is that they don't have any idea. And so they cannot be helpful in that way. They are excluded. They're just as in the dark as we are. So I think it really, for people to understand the uncertainty in our city, 3.8 million people. Our county, by the way, has 88 cities in it, 10 million people. Los Angeles County is larger than 40 states. And so to test that here, it's interesting, the cities that they targeted, right? New York, Chicago, LA, interesting.